Wonderful. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 na 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 na. Okay. Bernie, it's good to see you. We're looking forward to see you one day soon in a different country. Well, of course, I'm assuming that everyone who's online right now saw the Ten Commandments and, of course, the scene of the splitting of the Red Sea. It's great TV. It's a great miracle. And it is a great miracle, but beyond the fact that it was a great miracle, something happened really special. So I'm going to ask basically three questions, and we'll give an answer. And really, it's unbelievable. Something very special happened. And so, of course, one question is, Az Yashir Moshe B'nai Israel, now they sang. Now they sang. So, okay, why not sing after the Exodus? You had 10 plagues, you left. Sing then. Why now? Why? What? Something prompted the singing now. That's a very interesting question. Why now? So that's one question. And the other question is like, why this miracle? Why? And it's like, I don't know, it's basically the situation is the Egyptians are coming, they can't go back, they can't go forward. And so, but God did that. Like God created a situation where they couldn't go back to Egypt, or they could go back, but they have, the chariots there, and they can't go forward because why this miracle is with water. And then we're going to end with something very beautiful and about how the song of the women and the song of the men is so different and so beautiful. It's okay. So that's our questions. So now basically what happened? Let's start with what happened. We're standing there. So Hayam Hayal Yabasha. Hayam, the sea became land. Pretty straightforward. And if we look more specifically, we see Vayamayel and the Choma. On the one hand, it was like a wall, right? So it split, and they had a wall on one side and the wall on the other side. Okay, we got it. And they walked through, and when they walked through, maybe there were 12 ways for each tribe, or maybe more than that, fine. They also said that Kafu Tomot Belev Yam, right? The Tehumot is like the abyss. Tehumot are like the lower waters. So these deep waters, it seems that not all the water went up to the left and went up to the right. It all seems that part of the water, I don't know if it froze or it became hard, but whatever it is that part of the water became solid. Kafu Tehumot Belev Yam. In the heart of the sea, the deep waters, the abyssal waters, the lower waters, they became, kafu means frozen. So I don't know if they were frozen or they were, whatever. Okay, fine. So they're walking on water. They're really walking on water that became land. And that's what happened. Okay. So now, basically, what's the difference between sea and land? Well, if you take away the water, there's no difference. This is land, that's land. So what's the difference? Sea is land, but you can't see it. You can't see it because it's covered with water. And what happens over here is hayam hayab le'abasha. That which was hidden became that which is revealed. The hidden became revealed. And the question we're going to answer is what became revealed. I'm sure there's more than one answer, but this is an incredible thing. So let's understand what really happened over here. What is water? Okay, we all know what water is, but when we start in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and He tells us about the creation of everything, and then He tells us something interesting. Baruch Elohim. Merachefet apnei hamayim, and the Spirit of God is floating atop of the water. Okay, it's nice. Maybe we know what it means, maybe we don't. But let me ask you a question. Does it say anywhere that water was created? Doesn't say it. So I don't understand. It was created, it wasn't created. And how come we're not told we're created? So that's an interesting question. And then also, the Hebrew word for water, mayim. But mayim is the plural form of water. There is no singular form of water in Hebrew. It's always plural. So how does this all come together? So basically, water is a plurality. Water is one of the most primordial raw materials from which the world was created. And but what is water? Water is something which is not defined. You take water, you pour it into one thing, it looks like that shape. You pour it into something else. Water is plurality in the sense that it's not specific. It's just one thing, but it's not specified, it's not designated. All water is a raw material which can be formed into any kind of shape. Why is this so important? Because water symbolizes raw creation, raw physicality, which can now be shaped into anything in the world. So what is this symbol like? So, between all of us on the Zoom today, we got a couple hundred years together, okay? But we all started the same way. How did we all start? We were just one cell. Now, that's a miracle. It's a miracle that one cell, that's all we were. And then that one cell, what was inside of that one cell? Well, when you look in the mirror, everything that you see in the mirror was inside that one cell. Now that sounds like to me like a miracle, because in that one cell, right? And now I'm just talking physiology and science right over here. That one cell, what did it do? It divided into two cells, and into more, into more, into more. But in that one cell, our hair and our fingernails and our nervous system, Stephen, shalom aleichem. Good to
How
see
are
you.
you?
Baruch Hashem. We were just talking about the creation of people, that we're all created from one cell, and that one cell has inside of it the nervous system and the brain stem and our feet and our hair and our heart and our blood. Everything is inside that one cell. Okay, it's raw, but from that one cell, everything is going to be created. And what's going to happen for that one cell? It's going to divide, it's going to divide, divide, and eventually it's going to divide and it's going to specify, right? So then one cell is going to become a fingernail, another cell is going to become a nervous system. So this is why is this so important? For a few reasons. So we say we have the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, everything's wonderful, and then we wait for Shabbat, and Shabbat is a day of unity. There's a oneness, right? It's great. There's a oneness. No one works. The animals don't work. No one works. It's just a total oneness. Then comes Havdalah, and Havdalah means what? It means separation. So what could be holy about Havdalah? What could be holy about Havdalah is that just like the cell separates and it becomes specific, there's a tremendous holiness in being very specific. Because beforehand, all it was just one cell, but now it's a finger, and now it's a brainstem. And so what is water? Water, this miracle that happened with water, is just raw material. That's all it is. So now, I know right now it's not very clear, but in just a moment it's going to become very clear. You know anyone whose name is connected to water? Who do we know that his name is connected to water? That's connected to our story. Anyone? His name is mentioned 628 times in the Torah. What's his name?
Moshe.
Moshe. What was Moshe? Moshe was taken out of the water. Moshe was taken out of the water. You have to listen to this. This is an unbelievable idea. Moshe was taken out of the water. The water in Egypt, the Nile, symbolized foreverness. There was always going to be the River Nile. It symbolized physicality. Moshe was taken out of the water. What is Moshe? Moshe is this idea that there could be an interface between physicality, i.e. the water, and spirituality, which is what a prophet is. What's a prophet? A prophet is, there's a spiritual world, God, and there's a person that can interact between the spiritual and the physical. Okay. We have this miracle. We have this miracle of water, and the water is split, and something was revealed, and that which was hidden, the sea, now became revealed. And then after this whole miracle is over, what happens? And they believed in Hashem and in Moshe, his servant. What did they believe? You know, in the ancient world, did people believe that Pharaoh was God? I'm sure they did. And in Rome, did they believe that Caesar was God? Probably also. You know what they didn't believe? And if there was a priestly caste, that the priest could somehow interact with God, sure they believed it also. But they didn't believe that me and you can interact with God. They didn't believe that the individual, they didn't believe if you're a slave, you can't interact with God. And what happens over here is that at the Kriyat Yamsuf, they're beginning to believe in Moshe. They're beginning to believe that a human being can actually interact with the physical. And that's what became revealed. And what's their response? Their response is they take something which is inside of them, i.e. an emotional experience, and what do they translate it into? they make it into a song. And so, and what is a song? A song is an expression that we can go beyond ourselves. What is a song? A song is that we can actually take something from the spiritual world, whichever that spiritual world is, and we can somehow bring it down to this world. You know, we don't know exactly what spirituality is, but we listen to certain music and we say to ourselves, that music is from, it's something else. It's human, but it's beyond human. And somehow we realize that song is the interface between physical and spiritual. And so when the Jewish people, when they go through this experience of the splitting of the Red Sea, so they're actually, maybe for the first time, they're convinced that they can actually interface they themselves between the physical and spiritual, which also explains why they sang. Because what is song? Song is the interface between the physical and the spiritual. And also, it might explain why they could actually sing all together at the same time. Okay. We're going to say one more thing. But let's sing a song together. You know, imagine someone's very sick. I mean, they're sick, right? And you come with them and you sing with them a song. What happens? So
They feel better.
How does that work? Is because the singing is an interface between the physical and the spiritual. You know, sometimes you listen to music and people are just like transfixed by the music. And they just sit there. And like you lose track of time because there's something about singing which connects us to something that's very deep inside of us and something that is very, very beyond us. And here, as opposed to raw material, which is water, here the water became something which was beyond. God used the water and they went beyond the water, right? Here for the first time, they actually believe in Moshe. And who is Moshe? That which was he who was drawn from the water, drawn from the pure physicality. So I'll just add one last idea. And this idea is just like, we have to spread this idea around the world because it's unbelievable. So Moshe and the men, they got up and they sang a song. Beautiful. Now, the women get up and they do a song also. How is the song of the women different? How is it different? It says it. It says it was different because they had musical instruments, right? They had drums, they had tambourines. Well, let me ask you a very simple question. Where did they have drums and tambourines from? So maybe they made them But it seems logical that they brought them from Egypt. So either they had them in their house, or when they borrowed the gold and the silver, they also borrowed musical instruments. So now let me ask you a question, okay? Here, my father-in-law, Mr. Bressler, dad is on the, what's called, he was in the army. Okay. So they say, look, you're going on maneuvers. You're going on maneuvers, okay? Every soldier knows you got to pack a bag, this, that, and the other. And you pack, what do you pack? You pack the essentials. That's what you pack. The Jewish people are leaving Egypt. They're leaving Egypt. And some of them had carts. Some of them might have a mule, or I don't know. Some of them were just carrying things on their backs, whatever. And they have to carry with them the essentials. And the women realized that some of the essentials was what? A tambourine and a drum. This just blows your mind. You see, if you're going to leave Egypt and you're traveling into the desert, water, food, you need a blanket, a tent, whatever it is, if you're going to schlep with you a drum or a tambourine, then you have to be convinced of what? You have to be convinced that there's going to be a reason for you to use it. So there was anticipation that they were going to use these things. And there's even a midrash that says that the songs of the women was on a higher level than the song of the men, maybe for this reason. So now let me share with you something really incredible. Let's say you have a hammer. You have a hammer and a root in your hand, and you're walking around the world with a hammer in your hand. Let's say. If you walk around with a hammer in your hand, you want to use it. So the world looks to you, either the world looks to you like a nail, you're going to fix something, bang it, bang, 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 or you're going to break something, because that's what you're walking around. You know, but what if you're walking around the world with a tambourine? Then everything is a chance to make music. You know, most people don't know this, but my mother-in-law, she has a gift. She can start a conversation with anyone, right, Mom? Standing in line, start a conversation, okay? She's like the master of connection, right? So how does that work? What's that?
Josh, let me say something, Josh.
Go ahead.
It could be that the tambourines and the drums were essential. They may have used them when they were slaves. When they worked the whole day, maybe they come home at night and the song and the music was the only thing that they had to just relax a little bit and take the tensions away. So that could be a reason why they had them and they took them with them.
You're 100% correct. But the men didn't get that because they didn't use it during their song. What was so special about the women's song is they understood that. They understood that. You see, I just want to finish up with regarding Mom, is that if I'm standing on line and I'm just waiting for the line to whatever, and to be finished, I might get frustrated. But if a priori, this standing in line is a chance for connection, then I'm going to make a connection. I'm going to talk to someone. So the women, by them, it's true, their song was different because they were anticipating there would be an opportunity to be happy. They'd be anticipating there'd be an opportunity for simcha. And so, we can learn, we live in a world with Corona, the whole mess, and we can walk around the world with a fistful of tears. We can walk around the world with a fistful of anxiety. We can do that. Or we can learn from the women to walk around with a fistful of tambourines, and we can walk around the world saying, maybe this standing in line is a chance to talk to someone, to connect with someone. And, beforehand, when I'm standing in line, the person in front of me, what is he? He's just physical. He's just water. And maybe more than that, he's just annoying that he's taking so much time. But when I actually reach out to that person and we start talking, then the person becomes a person. And now imagine you're standing in line, and standing in front of you is the most annoying person in the world. I mean, that's usually what happens. Okay. But then there's like a little song going on in the background, and you don't even realize that you're singing or humming along, and they're humming, and you look at each other and you smile. Oh my God. And suddenly, you know what happens? The wall that exists between you and the other person, it comes down, And like here, imagine, I don't know, you're in the army with people you don't know, and in the army they have all kinds of songs. I'm not going to sing them right now for different reasons, but here's people that you don't even know, right? And you sing this song together, and like this guy, he's not Jewish, maybe this guy is from who knows where he is, and suddenly you feel connected. And so what happened, the miracle transformed the Jewish people. They felt connected. Az Yashir Moshe B'nai. They all broke out communally in a song together. And it sort of reminds me a little bit that after the vote and the resolution, suddenly there was spontaneous dancing in the streets in 1948. So let us bless each other that we'll walk around the world with the willingness to talk to people that are in front of us in line. Let us walk around the world. Amen. And let us walk around the world with a tambourine. And what can I tell you? Imagine you're standing in line and there's a little child behind you, they have a tambourine and they're playing, right? And I'm standing in front, I'm annoyed, and they're having the time of their life. Well, I bless you guys that we walk around with tambourines.